Let's go to CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes, obviously still there in the briefing room. Quite a remarkable event today, Nancy, and I would like to get overall your takeaways, but I also think one thing that we should focus on is a question that the president was asked. Essentially, people in Greenland say they don't want to be a part of the U.S., and he said, I'm sure they'll be thrilled.
Right. That's, of course, not what public opinion polling shows right now. It indicates that the Greenlanders don't want to be part of the United States. And obviously, we know from hearing from the leaders of Greenland and the leaders of Denmark that they don't want that either. But that has been the case for quite some time. And the president continues to insist, Lindsay, that that Greenland will be safer from some amorphous threat from the Russians and the Chinese if the U.S. is in charge. He was also asked in this long press conference whether he's willing to risk NATO falling apart if he does try eventually to take Greenland by force, which is something he has not taken off the table. He said that he thinks that there will be some kind of deal, some kind of plan that will make NATO very happy at the end of the day, but he didn't say what that would look like.
I think, Nancy, it's also interesting that some of today's event was also symbolic of what we have seen in the first year of the president's second term, and that is his airing of grievances and the spirit of retribution. The president bringing up again Jack Smith, calling him a sick son of a bee, Fonnie Willis, Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, sort of the carousel of folks that we often see Ilhan Omar be the target of the president's ire, and the fact, again, bringing up that he did not get the Nobel Peace Prize.
Right. And he continued to insist in this press conference, he was asked about it more than once, that he holds the Norwegian government responsible for the fact that he has not yet won this coveted Nobel Peace Prize, even though the Norwegian government has made it clear they don't control the Nobel Committee. They don't have any say in who gets chosen. President Trump stood on that podium, at that podium behind me, and he insisted, of course, they are involved. They run the country. And so it's clearly something that continues to stick in the president's craw. He was asked by one reporter how it would jive with his America First platform for him to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Essentially, why does he want it so badly when it's not going to change the everyday lives of any particular Americans? And he said it wouldn't change any lives for Americans, but that he firmly believes that he has saved, in his view, tens of millions of lives based on the peace deals that he has been involved in, and therefore he simply believes he deserves it.
What is your take on what the behind-the-scenes conversations are going to look like in Davos, particularly when communications that are typically private have been now aired publicly?
Well, there are a lot of reasons for tension going into these meetings in Davos. Those text messages from Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, and Mark Rutte, the Secretary General of NATO, being made public by the president. That's one potential area of tension. Another is the fact that the president over the weekend threatened to impose pretty significant new tariffs on half a dozen European countries, big countries, because they back Denmark in its statement that it wants to retain control of Greenland as it has for centuries. And so that is creating ripple effects throughout the European Union, which is now trying to decide whether to put the trade deal that they had meticulously negotiated with the White House over the past year on hold. So that is another area of tension. The third, Lindsay, is the ongoing sort of back and forth over the president's new Gaza Board of Peace, which he mentioned several times at the podium, and he wants to hold a big signing ceremony on Thursday. This is a board that he would chair, that countries could join for 3 years or permanently if they're willing to fork up $1 billion. But there are a lot of questions about how exactly this board would work. Does the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, remain the head of the board in perpetuity, even after he leaves office? What kind of say would other countries get in how that money is spent? Because reading the charter, it sounds like the chairman of the board, again, Donald Trump, would have the ability to veto any vote, even a near unanimous vote. And so there are a lot of questions that world leaders have about how exactly this Board of Peace would work, whether the president truly does intend it to be some kind of rival to the United Nations, and therefore whether they should join it or not. And that may indicate one of the reasons why we've only heard from about half a dozen countries so far that say that they do plan to join the Board of Peace.
Nancy Cortez, thank you so much.